Well, the effort to build Rhode Island's tourism is underway, and one group's taken an early lead, they think. Welcome into My State of Mind. I am Dan York. I'm a little bit of a mess today. I'm just going to come out and say, in case you're wondering, is there something going on? We're friends, right? I know it's television, but we're friends. I grabbed a workout prior to the show, and it's just, I showered and everything, but it's not working out, if you know what I mean. So what are you going to do? Television doesn't wait for anybody. Production times must be met. So in case you're thinking, are there spots? All right, enough. TMI, too much information, don't you think? A little bit. Okay. Jess goes, you should tell everybody. Yeah. Or actually, I said, I'm going to tell everybody. You do what you want to do. That's what she usually does. Just do what you want to do. And then Kevin sits there and says, I don't know why I direct this show. Tonight, we've got one of the bidders to grab the tourism contract that the Raimondo Camp put out for, $5 million, which I think is A, too little money. B, I don't know what it is that we're promoting in this state yet, but these two gentlemen who run this company have a novel approach, and they're trying to take the early consensus lead. And they've got a new commercial, so we'll show all of that to you, whether I'm sweaty or not. All right, let's go to the, what can I tell you? You know, at least I'm honest. Trump's honest. He's got big poll numbers. Fung will survive. I would have liked to see a little honesty from Alan Fung last night. I attended the city council meeting in Cranston, and it was abominable. Here's the headline. He got a nice headline. I'm not running. I'm not hiding. He's also not offering any answers, but unfortunately, the city council in Cranston just made a subpar effort in pinning him where he should have been pinned. Here's an Eyewitness News recap.
For the first time since the Rhode Island State Police investigation accused Cranston Mayor Alan Fung of influence on his police department, the public directly questioned the man they elected.
And I know it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to continue to work hard every single day so that those individuals that had concerns, I'm going to earn their trust.
The city council tore through the 180-page report by state police calling out individual issues involving the mayor.
I don't see anything outside of a honest mistake or misstep possibly happening, and maybe even a learning experience.
What really bothered me was that he suggested there was a political motivation for all of this. So in my view, he didn't acknowledge his mistakes.
It was a jam City Hall, but 100 people, versus 80,000 population. Alan Fung just wanted to survive that meeting last night, and he did. Doing a two-step, doing a dance, more or less suggesting this was a managerial process problem as opposed to a corruption problem. Look, he was bought and sold, no doubt. If you read the report, you can see, in my humble opinion, he was bought and sold by a couple of top police officers who owned him and more or less told him how he was going to run the department or how he was going to let the department be run. And to this moment, the city council nor anybody else has been able to pin Alan Fung down on why he tried so hard to protect one captain, give him a sweetheart deal going out when his actions were terminatable. He's going to survive. You know why? Because there's so much lethargy in Cranston and in Rhode Island. The bar is so low, we just shrug our shoulders. Moving on, will Hillary survive? Well, there's a whole different story between getting elected and remaining elected. Getting elected can be a little bit harder, believe it or not. CNN.com talks about Hillary now having to turn over her private email. She was convinced that her private email server was going to remain her private email server. The heat comes on from the FBI, and all of a sudden she's saying, okay, you can have everything, because they have learned that there is very high classified material on her private server. The Republicans are going to have a field day with this one.
After months of resisting, Hillary Clinton decided to turn over the personal email server she used during her time as Secretary of State to the FBI. The issue of Clinton's emails have trickled onto the campaign trail. A CBS News poll released last week shows a majority of registered voters, 55%, believe Clinton is not honest and trustworthy. The FBI is in the process of finding out exactly if Clinton's personal server and email were secure.
It's so bad that Bernie Sanders, the socialist, is leading in New Hampshire, according to the latest poll. Think about that. This is a nice move by the Raimondo administration. $20 million being set aside for grants for rebuilding schools. The headline, the Providence Journal front page, she announces the effort designed to restart projects halted during what has been a moratorium. I could never understand why our General Assembly would actually halt rehab of schools. It was the first thing I noticed when I came to Rhode Island some 16 years ago, that amongst the things that wasn't so nice, the schools looked like they had been built in 1840. Well, guess what? They still do, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. So line up and get your school on the list. It's going to be a long haul back, but at least the Raimondo administration is making a good start. It could be a long haul with Brady and the NFL. The headline today, Tom Brady looking very dapper, much more dapper than me today, that is for sure. He comes in amidst the cheers. Look at this as Eyewitness News and Tim White put this little narrative together.
Just after 10 o'clock this morning, Eyewitness News cameras were there as NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell arrived at federal court.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Moments later, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady arrives with legal advice from fans.
Don't settle, Tom! Don't settle!
A throng of media and members of the public, some wearing deflated football hats, look on. Brady and the NFL Players Association in court for a hearing with Goodell before U.S. District Court Judge Richard Berman. The judge is looking for both sides to come to a mutual agreement, a settlement in the long-running scandal known as Deflategate.
Only in America, what a great country. Deflatable helmets. Oh. Kev, do you have one?
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on, brother.
Nope.
Season ticket holder. It's on his Christmas list, I can promise you that. By the way, the judge warned today, if they can't figure this out and make up and kiss goodbye and all that kind of stuff, this case could run to, are you ready for this? 2017. 2017. Brady might be thinking, you know what? I'll run this baby out. I can play 2 more years, even though he thinks he's going to play till what, 2027 or something. Now, that ain't happening. Speaking of that ain't happening, it ain't happening for the Jets quarterback. Did you see this story? Unbelievable. Yeah, Geno Smith is out 6 to 10 weeks, not because he got hurt playing football. He got hurt in the locker room.
Head coach Todd Bowles said Ike Enemkpali walked up to Geno Smith in the Jets locker room, exchanged words with the quarterback, then threw a punch that sent Smith to the floor.
Regardless of the situation, barring anybody messing with your kids or your family, you shouldn't have to hit another man.
Bowles said both men shared responsibility for the fight, but only Enemkpali, the Jets' 6th-round draft pick in 2014, was released. Competition for roster spots during NFL training camps is intense, and fistfights often break out. Earlier this month, Cowboys wide receiver Dez Bryant traded blows with cornerback Tyler Patman. The Jets won just 4 games last season and are trying to shake off its image as a team mired in embarrassment and futility.
Well, that ain't going to help. As a Giant fan, I think it's joyful. Kev, as a Patriots fan, thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. It is hilarious. It's just, the NFL is just one funny place right now. Your opinion on whatever we're talking about here matters to us. Give us a ring at 228-1886. Email us, Facebook, or tweet at us. I want to get to these guys and their tourism ideas, so we're going to hurry into the next segment. Stay with us. So you may remember back in the budget session and in the address that the governor made that she put a $5 million line item into the budget to promote Rhode Island. And for me, I'm not impressed. Practically, I don't know what the process is other than saying, hey, we ought to promote our place and put money in there. But I'll keep my opinions kind of reserved right now because we've got at least one of the bidding companies who's aggressively looking to win, I think, some public support before a decision's made. Here's the headline that started it all. Rhode Island pursues the perfect pitch. So a request for proposal is put out by state government. That's the way state government issues contracts. And this organization, Adam Media Group, is one of the competitors. Gentlemen, welcome. Nice to have you. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Michael Mota is the CEO.
Yes, sir.
And Daniel Mercer is the COO.
Correct.
And you guys have pretty extensive advertising experience in Rhode Island previous to forming this group about a year ago, correct?
We do.
Talk to me about it.
So we ran the company formerly Media Appeal, and then Seven Swords was acquired by Alex Anani, so we did all of the advertising for Alex Anani.
Okay.
And then we had other clients, the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., Benjamin Moore nationally, and then we have local clients now as well.
All right. So you guys were both principals in the previous company?
We were.
And so you formed this group. Well, there's no doubt that you must have done something right in coordination with Alex Anani's core business model, because the takeoff of that company was unbelievable, right?
Right.
So before we get into this thing, what have you learned about the key messaging in advertising and marketing from your experience?
What we were able to do with Alex and Ani was, start with a small budget. We were only spending a couple $1,000s per month. They didn't have a big budget. They were less than $1 million at that point. They were less than 20 employees. And then toward the end, over $230 million with over 1,000 employees all over the country. So we learned how to be strategic and creative and think outside the box. So that's what we brought to this campaign.
Okay.
It's different. It's edgy. It showcases that we're ready to be creative and, again, think outside the box using different funds.
All right, so talk to me about the process of competing for the state project.
This particular state project or
Yes.
overall? So this one in particular, we wanted to, put together obviously a formalized response or proposal to their RFP. But what we did was, as we were going through a more traditional approach, which would be how many hours are we going to put into it, what kind of expenses are we going to have against it, and then come in with a price associated against it. The more we started talking with our staff, the more we started talking between Mike and I, the more we started realizing that there really wasn't enough in the budget to do what was being asked.
In the $5 million.
In the $5 million budget.
Right.
So,
because traditionally, if they put $5 million out, an agency takes a 15 or 20% cut of that. And so now you're talking about what, $4 million, $4.5 million maybe in
not only that,
spending.
Dan. I mean, it's the 15%, but then whatever creative fees are associated against that. And we saw some articles that because of Gina's connections with some of the bigger cities and some of the bigger advertising agencies, that the former head of J. Walter Thompson was putting kind of a plea out there to all of the bigger agencies to say, come support Rhode Island. We know $5 million is not a lot, but come in and give them a good campaign that people will be able to get behind. But the fees usually associated with that are millions of dollars, and that alone would chew into anywhere from 25% of the budget to possibly even more before you're even factoring in the media buying with the commission associated against it.
All right, so two-tiered question here. Why are you here talking to me about this prior to a bid being awarded?
So we actually, the bid was put in on Friday, and we wanted to just put ourselves a little bit different in the mix. I heard something along 53 agencies were looking to get the bid. So we wanted to do a little bit different. We wanted people to realize that we have something to offer. And what we did was, like what Dan was saying, the production is where the bulk of the money is going to go. Not the bulk of the money, but a big portion of the money. We want to put $5 million into the campaign, so we wanted 100% of that to go to media buying. What we're doing a little bit different is we're going to reach out to the businesses, and we've worked with them for a long time, and we launched our first TV spot on Friday on our website. We also launched a crowdfunder to help $5, $10 donations, which we've already started getting a lot of donations.
Explain to people what crowdfunding is. Not everybody knows what that is.
So crowdfunding is everyone bands together, donates some, could be $5, could be $1, all the way up to $100,000. What we're looking to do is, we've been doing this for a while, so we understand the CVS's of the world, Hasbro, GTech, now IGT, they have a media budget. If we can get them to buy into the Rhode Island campaign, which if tourists come to Rhode Island, they're going to spend money, people will then live here. It's good for the state, it's good for their own company. So if they're spending $2 or $3 million already, they could allocate $200,000 to do a co-branding. And again, that doesn't come away from the $5 million. We launched 2 billboards today. Adam Media paid for one. And
That's
Benris.
you. That's you.
Adam Media, we did our own billboard on 95. And Benris, the CEO, Giovanni Feroci, has also donated the billboard. Again, it's a co-branding opportunity.
Now, let's remember that you and Giovanni must be tight. He built Alex Anani.
Yes, he did.
So you guys are longtime partners.
Absolutely.
And full disclosure, I've done some business with Gio too. So he's an idea guy. He jumps on ideas. You want other entrepreneurial thinking business people to jump into your idea. Have you put this into your bid? In other words, have you described to the state what you want to accomplish?
It is. It's 100% in the bid. And like I said, I think there's about 52 or 53 agencies, and they'll probably choose one. And out of the other 52, those will probably sit in a box and no one will ever see them. The way we're doing it is everyone's going to see it. And like you said, Giovanni is an out-of-the-box thinker, and that's how we believe we could do it.
We really, really, really want the people of the state to get behind it, right? So we're coming to the table and we're saying we have a core group of employees who are willing to invest 60, 70, 80 hours a week, whatever it's going to take to be able to provide this service to the state, to be able to put all of that media towards attracting people here to the state, because you can look at any one of the state reports that are out there on the effect that tourism has on the state of Rhode Island, and it really, really, really helps each individual Rhode Islander. We all talk, there's a lot of talk in Rhode Island about how bad the situation is, how things need to improve, and how are you going to do that? Well, I mean, to create jobs, you have to increase the tax base, you have to increase the spending in the state, and one of the only ways to do that is to increase tourism. So basically, we're coming to the table and we're saying we will do whatever it takes to give the state as much as possible to be able to spend the maximum amount possible on media to get the message out. We will help create the message, and to whatever extent we can work with other agencies in the state to do the same thing, we would like to do that as well.
All right, so if I understand it, you want to not only use the $5 million the state wants to allocate. Do you think you can grow that budget with these cooperative advertising arrangements?
And it's not difficult to do. $5 million is a big budget for the state. I understand that.
I don't think so.
To get a couple more million.
It's an $8.5 billion statewide budget. So
exactly. I know.
Let's not consider the state franchise poor.
Right.
Right.
Well, they're making a bigger contribution to tourism than they have in the past. I believe the figure is
it's $470,000. I mean, we're dead last in terms of tourism spending. You look at a state like California, which is a very successful campaign, $60 million. Hawaii, $82 million. But one of the most recent campaigns was the state of Michigan. It was $13 million. It resulted in $87 million, almost a $6.66 return on investment for every dollar spent. So, you know, if we can get to that $10 million level, that $13 million level, to get that message out there by getting these cooperative funds from the CVSs, the Hasbros, then, you know, I think there's a real chance for this to have success.
I got to think hard about this one. It's a creative idea. Of course, the key in advertising, you can spend all the money in the world, but if you don't say the right thing, you're done. We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay with us. Okay, so Newport will have to be in the mix, right? Touristy video, we call this. Nothing like walking shoes Block Island's hot, Newport's hot. We know what's hot here in Rhode Island. But these gentlemen are from the Adam Media Group. They are one of what could be dozens of bidders for the tourist challenge, if you will, that Rhode Island has put out, a $5 million request for proposals. So market us. I know you guys have some creative, and I want to show it. I'm concerned, not with your proposals, but with the state's thing here. I'm not exactly sure that we've figured out who we are and who we want to be. So I find it precarious that state money is being allocated for a tourism project, period, until we redefine who we are. You have a thought on that?
So when you say who we are from a business perspective,
I don't see anything right now. I don't see anything right now that sells Rhode Island on a business level. I see no government program that is highly marketable on a mainstream basis. So that puzzles me. I do know that we have tourism assets, but let's put it this way. I don't think we need to be marketing Rhode Island exclusively on a tourism basis. And so I'm concerned that we don't have our collective strategic marketing act together. Having said that, go ahead.
The way we're going to start is it's going to be multi-phased. The first ad I think you're going to show is going to show the tourism, you know, the beauty of Rhode Island. I have my inspiration from the ride Soarin' that Walt Disney World has, you know, kind of showcasing what Rhode Island is. I'm a big believer that, seeing is believing. So if we can get them here and they can see the state, how small it is, which has its strengths. There's an airport very close to us, so business people can get to the airport and go where they need to go, come back home the same day. I used to travel to Washington, D.C. to go see the Smithsonian and come back at night. The fact that you can get to the beach in 20, 30 minutes. There's a lot of beauty here. This is only one.
What time you leave. No, I know what you're talking about. Oh, roll. This is the Adam Media Group's commercial that is online right now and part of their proposal.
Whatever you do.
Whatever you do. Whatever you do.
Whatever you do.
Whatever you do.
Whatever you do.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Whatever you do, Rhode Island.
Pizzazzy. So is your theme for the campaign whatever you do?
It is. So we've trademarked the name. We have a website online, and you can go on there and find out all the information that we put into the RFP. But what we're going to do, again, this is only the first video. There's many, many videos to come. We have one in the queue that we'll probably launch at the end of this week. We're here to showcase that Rhode Island can do it great. We can stand with any other agency all across the country. Our costs are a lot lower. And we've also guaranteed another 5 jobs in the next 2 years if we're awarded the RFP. And the reason why is we're...
In your company?
Yes, because we're reinvesting into our company. We want to continue to grow.
And Dan, we agree with you. There's not a lot of state programs that are advertisable, so to speak, to say like, hey, we're business friendly, we're this, we're that.
We're not tax friendly right now. The Vermont administration has put some puts into what she thinks is job generation, but proof will be in the pudding and hardly marketable at this juncture. We've got a 195 development project that is sitting there stalled with a stadium controversy kind of in the middle of it. I'm not down. I'm always optimistic, but right now, what you say matters.
Absolutely.
And
so it's how do you attract business owners? Or we're an example of a company that was started in Rhode Island that's experiencing success, and it's because there's a tremendous amount of resources that are available to us, and not just in a financial sense or public help sense, but more, we have some tremendous schools and universities with very highly skilled talent. I mean, even New England Tech, for instance, there's a lot of skilled people coming out of New England Tech that are good at editing video or doing a lot of pieces in the advertising world. So what we will do is continue to phase out this marketing approach to go after and present the positive pieces of Rhode Island, both from a business perspective and from a tourism perspective.
Listen, I admire your energy and your ingenuity here. One of the things that strikes me off the top of my head, we don't have much time to discuss, only a minute left in our segment here, but whether the state gives you the award or not, if you're going to network and co-op, you can do this anyway.
Right, we're rolling. We're rolling.
Obviously, you're doing it ahead of the bid.
Right. And $5 million is not that difficult to get to, an additional $5 million. If we go to, which we're already talking to them now. I mean, when they're spending millions of dollars, it's not difficult for them to say, okay, we're going to allocate $200,000 of it to co-brand. Why wouldn't they want to go to Rhode Island?
My point is, I don't know that you need a state authorization to do what you're doing.
That's exactly right, because
we're still going.
It's like you're the renegade marketing plan for Rhode Island by the Adam Media Group.
Well,
stop us if you want to.
But you know what? Another $5 million will definitely not hurt. So why give it to another agency that's going to spend $1 million, $1.5 million to kind of just do production? If we have it, let's do it together. I challenge other agencies. If they want to join us, come join us. They might have great ideas. If there's 52 bids, I'm sure 51 of them are probably pretty good.
Or
let's work
resources
together.
that they could contribute for free.
When the bids are awarded, let's regroup and see where you are.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
One more thing, and we come back. Stay with us. These guys are out of the box. There's no doubt about it, and we'll see how that whole tourism bidding process goes. And by the way, I'm dry and I'm all together. Don't try to steal a workout before a television show, chubby. See you tomorrow on the radio at noon on WPRO. Take care.